Apart from understanding what marriage is, apart from understanding the pre-period of marriage, you also have to understand your partner. I've seen so many people, so many marriages fall apart because we rush into it. We don't take our time to understand who we are getting involved with. We just want to take this opportunity once again to look at some issues. One of the issues we're going to look at is the most important thing God has made for man. It was his commandment. It was his plan. It was his ordinances. But unfortunately, what we have in our society these days, you keep asking questions. We could ask questions about this issue, this issue that we're talking about. We're talking about the first human organization, the smallest human organization. I mean, relationship, or we can just call it the popular name, marriage. Marriage. With what we have in our society these days, there's so many separation. There's so many divorces here and there. Single mother, single father, single children, this, single. Now it comes to, if we sit down to do a critical analysis of all these divorces, this separation here and there, you might want to ask, is marriage really ordained by God? What is marriage? What is the problem in marriage? What is causing problem in a marriage? Is it spiritual? Is it physical? Is it finance? Is it we human being ourselves? Can't we manage coming together as husband and wife to build a home? What's the problem? When I did a critical analysis, I went into spirit and I keep asking questions. This is what I got. I want all of you to please listen to me. You might at the end of the day learn one or two things that will keep your family together, that will keep your marriage together. We're going to divide this topic into three sections. The first one is pre-marriage. Pre-marriage. When you get the basis, when the foundation is wobbled, then the house will fall. If your marriage is not set on the principle of God, then definitely it's going to fall. This is the first point. Do we really understand what marriage is? Before you go into it, you have to understand what marriage is. A lot of people just go into marriage without understanding what marriage is. They go into it because, oh, my sister, my friend, my neighbor is 30 years old, is 12 years old, is this years old, is married, so I have to go, I have to marry. Oh, he was my classmate, he's had 3 kids, how come I'm not married? Do we really understand what marriage is? I just found out that a lot of people don't understand what marriage is. What we do, we just feel like, okay, let me just do it because other people are doing it. This is the point. First point of understanding what marriage is. 1, you have to understand that marriage is ordained by God. Is ordained by God. And anything that is ordained by God, you have to consult God before you go into it. It is not ordained by man. It is not ordained by the physicality. It's a spiritual thing ordained by our spiritual God. And that, you know, it was God that made Eve for Adam. It wasn't Adam that made Eve for himself. So it's God, it's God's setting. It's God's plan for human. Second thing we have to understand is marriage is between a man and a woman. Any other thing is fallacious. Any other thing is ungodly. Marriage is between a man and a woman. And these are the things that you have to know when it comes to marriage. Number 3, you have to know that both of you are leaving your comfort zone. You are leaving your parents. The two of you must leave your parents if you want to have a good marriage. For the Lord said, for this a man shall leave his father and mother and shall be joined together with his wife. They shall no longer be two but one. I'm going to re-emphasize this. Emphasizing on being one. So these are the prep. If you are not ready to be one with your wife, then you will not have a happy home. If you are not ready to be one with your husband, then there's no marriage. Don't forget I said, Both of you are leaving your comfort zone. You are leaving your original comfort zone that you are both used to, which are your parents. You are leaving your siblings. You are leaving your brother, your sisters, your nephew, your uncle, even your father and mother. You are leaving them to start a new beginning, a new home, a new union, a fresh home. You are starting a new generation for the glory of God. The fourth one is, it is a legal union and a spiritual togetherness to share responsibility. It involves, one, commitment. If you are not ready to commit, you can never marry. You can never have a good marriage. Let me put it that way. If you are not committed to your marriage, then your marriage will not stand. Commitment is very, very important. Let's forget about the word love, love. There are some factors that comes together to come those factors come together to create that word love. Love is not in abstract. Love doesn't just come up. It's a combination of actions of a man and a woman that brings love. So what I'm saying is, marriage, you should know that marriage is a legal union and a spiritual togetherness to share responsibility. It involves commitment, support, help one another. It's very, very important. If you are not ready to help your man, then your marriage will fall. If you are not ready to help your woman, then your marriage will fall. It's more than sex. It's deeper than that. And you have to know this. Marriage leads to increase, both physically, spiritually, and in other way. Marriage leads to increase. Because when the two of you are married, when children are born, then there is increase. And that's why God said, go into the world and multiply and subdue the earth. Go into the world, multiply. Your multiplication means increase. When you increase, then you can subdue. You can subdue the earth. You can manage the earth. God has sent us to manage the earth. And managing the earth starts from the beginning, which is a marriage between a man and a woman. Now I want to ask this question. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Those who are listening to me, man and woman, boy and girl, are you ready? These are the things you have to put into consideration before you can say you are ready. There has to be physical readiness, because your marriage affects your physical being. What do I mean by physical being? Don't forget, when you are a woman, once you get married, definitely there are going to be changes in your physical body. There's no doubt about it. There's going to be a change in your physical body. There's going to be a change in your mental thinking. There's going to be a change in your societal, how will I put it? Your societal presentation. How you present yourself when you are married is different from what you are when you are still a spinster or you are a bachelor. So are you physically ready to go into marriage? Secondly, are you emotionally ready? Marriage also involves emotion. It plays an important role in your emotion. What I mean by emotion is your emotion towards your man, your emotion towards your woman. Third, are you spiritually ready? This is very deep. This is very deep. When I ask that question, are you spiritually ready? Spiritually ready means you have to know what religion your spouse is. I've seen so many marriages fall apart because of religious beliefs. Going deeper on the spirituality of readiness when it comes to spirituality. Are you the one that can support your spouse through prayers, fasting, night vigil? Are you ready to carry the cross with your man? Are you ready to carry the cross with your woman? Some people might have some financial, some family problems. It could be generational cause, it could be individual causes, it could be sickness, and those might not even come up at the initial stage. But you have to build your mind that whatever comes, I'm ready to stay. I'm ready to fight this battle with this man. I'm ready to fight this battle with this woman. No matter what, I'll stay with you. We'll fight it together. And of course, we'll overcome. Two good heads are better than one. That's why the Bible said, when two or more are gathered in my name, when they call upon me, I will answer them. So when a husband and wife, when you are spiritually tangled, when you call upon the Lord is quick to answer you. Are you socially ready? What I mean by all this readiness is this. You have to understand what kind of a man you are getting involved with. You have to understand a kind of a woman you are getting involved with. If you are not socially, and you go marry a socially man or a socially woman, then you're creating problem. If you are not spiritually equipped, you go marry somebody who's not going to support your spirituality, then there will be a problem. Purpose of God for marriage. One of the purposes of God for marriage is to increase, like I said. That's why I said, go into the word and multiply. And one of the reasons I've said before is to subdue and manage the earth, fill it, and have dominion over everything God has made. And this means that when we get married, the purpose of getting married is to increase, is to have kids, and of course, to increase, once you have kids. Let me give you an example. If you are not husbands, when you're together, when you get pregnant, definitely, you're going to increase in all aspects of your life. You buy your kids things, this, that, more beds, more this. God wants us to increase. He doesn't want stagnancy. So marriage leads to increase. So if you are not ready to increase, definitely marriage is not really for you. Then marriage. Now let's look at marriage proper. First thing is this. Apart from understanding what marriage is, apart from understanding the pre-period of marriage, you also have to understand your partner. I've seen so many people, so many marriages fall apart because we rush into it. We don't take our time to understand who we are getting involved with. If you don't understand the man you are getting involved with, if you don't understand the woman you are getting involved with, then you've already digged your step into the troubled water. You've already crashed your marriage. What do I mean by understanding your partner or your spouse? It involves all aspects of human life. Some people cannot stand, a snoring man or a snoring woman. What about if you don't understand your husband snores? Or you don't understand that your woman snores? Go talk to those who have been in marriages for 10, 20, 40, 50 years. They have a lot to tell you. But it's always good for you before you go deep into it, before you say, I do, to get a deep understanding of who your spouse is. The food he likes, the food she likes. Understand the family background of both your spouse, maybe the man or the woman. I'm not saying the woman alone should understand the man. I'm saying the man should also understand that woman. Understanding each other leads to a good marriage and a good relationship. You have to understand the physicality of your spouse. That is the weakness and the stronghold of your partner. A lot of people, like I said, will just rush into it. You don't know the weakness of that man. You don't know the stronghold of that woman. When you don't know the stronghold or the weakness of each other, there might be a problem in later years. You want to know the spiritual capability of each other before you really go into it. You have to know the emotional capability of each other. Some people might say the men are much stronger than men. Women have 9 bones. Women have no. Some men are crying babies. Some women will handle some physically bound situation than men. So you have to know, you have to understand the physicality of your man. You have to understand the physicality of your woman. Some women are good prayer warriors. When they pray, the heart will shake. We have to understand, apart from prayer, there are some spiritual areas that you have to really understand. You have to understand the background of where you are getting yourself into. In other words, you have to take your time to understand the family you are going into. That plays so much of important role in marriages. What kind of family am I digging myself into? What are the norms of that family? What are the do's and do not? What this woman used to? What this man used to? You have to understand that. One other thing these days that is so much causing a lot of problem is finances. Let me tell you, finances can never be constant. It's not constant. That's one of those things I can tell you is never constant. But you have to make sure you understand which one is your bank between a man and woman. Some men are good at saving, some women are good at saving. So you have to understand and organize your financial structure. If you don't understand your woman, if it's I want to buy this, spend 10,000, 100,000, this, that, blah, 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 then you have to be ready. If you are not ready, don't get that woman. If you go fall in love with a lazy man who doesn't want to work, it's your doing. That's your failure to understand that you are getting married to a lazy man. So when he keeps asking you, you have to keep giving. Because you did not understand that kind of a man. And you found yourself entangled with him. So that's trouble out there. And if time is not taken, that marriage will not last. The same thing, if you are one that went ahead to marry a spendthrift woman. Let's buy this, buy that, keep buying, keep spending. You see, one thing about finances is that a lot of people don't understand. When you keep digging in, before you know it, you spend that which you ought not to have spent at that particular time. And once you find yourself in this situation, then there's a problem. When you can't give no more, there's a problem. When you can't give the way you used to give before, there's a problem. So the two of you have to understand your financial structure. You have to set up a financial structure that will uphold your marriage in case of incasity. That's very, very important. Like I said, one thing that I didn't really emphasize on that I really want to talk about is you have to understand the stronghold and the weakness of each other. We all have our strongholds. We all have our weaknesses. There is no perfect human being on earth. Listen to me, you woman. If you are waiting to get married to a perfect man, you will never marry. And you, this man, listening to me, if you are looking for a perfect woman, you will never get married because you will never find one. No one is perfect. Even when our Lord Jesus Christ was called a perfect teacher, he told them, it's only my Father in heaven that is perfect. So we are not perfect. But we can come together to meet at an equilibrium point. What is that equilibrium point? Equilibrium point where you and your spouse can work on each other to be perfect for each other. Be perfect. And that was why God said, leave your father, leave your mother. You are not to be perfect for his mother. You are not to be perfect for her mother. You are to be perfect for her. And you are to be perfect for him. You are to work yourself together, whereby you can live in perfect harmony and in perfect tranquility. Marriage these days is facing a lot of challenges. A lot of challenges. And that is why we have divorces all over the place. I'm beginning to think probably we're having a lot of more divorces than marriages these days. Many youths, many young ones are so scared going into that institution. Many men, many women are afraid going to that institution. But I tell you, that is the best institution God ever made. Because it was made and designed and orchestrated by God. But once you fall out of God's ordinances, once you fall out of God's plan, then you create a problem for your home. Listeners, I just want to tell you, this is part 1 of this message. Part 2 is coming. Part 3 is coming. This, what we just talked about now, is just to do a pre-marital preparation, and of course, getting you ready, getting you to know what you have to know before you go into it. And of course, we did a little bit analysis on the purpose of God for marriage, which I said is for increase, is for us to subdue the earth and to have dominion, and then finally is for us to come into this world, to come together as a family, to worship Him, the giver of life, the sustainer of life, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the creator of heaven and earth. If you follow all He has said, your marriage will last, your marriage will work, and of course, you will enjoy the beauty of a good marriage. Like I said, it is designed by God, it is orchestrated by God, it's God's plan for man, and it's God's ordinances for man. So for us to enjoy it, you have to follow what God has laid down. Once you separate yourself from what God has said, then there will be trouble. For because you have listened to me, I pray very soon the part 2 will be coming out. Please make sure you subscribe. Subscribe. So once the part 2 comes out, you'll be the first to listen to it. It's deep. Part 2 is deep. This is just the foundation. Part 2 is very, very, very deep. And I tell you, part 3 is the deepest. You cannot afford to miss it. Subscribe. And of course, don't forget, send these messages out to your friend. 1 or 2 people, or even more, might gain from it, and it might solidify their marriage. You don't know. But I tell you the truth. The only thing you can do to help other people is by sending these messages out to your friends, your family, and to your loved ones, and subscribe to the next topic on marriage. God bless you. Thank you.